What up, y'all? So I want to talk about briefly. This is probably going to be a short podcast about why people are ignoring your text messages. It could be multiple reasons, but I'm gonna get into some of the reasons. But first, I want to start with a quote, and the quote is: "Everybody brings joy to a room, either by walking into the room or by leaving it." Which means either people are excited that you just left the room, or people are people are either excited that you entered the room or they're excited that you left. You ever have a person, you go to a party and there's a person that enters the room and you're like, oh my God, this person's here. You know what I mean? It doesn't bring joy into the room for that particular person to be there. But everyone celebrates and yells in excitement that the person that nobody can stand like just left. You know what I mean? So every time people hear your name, every time like every time, let's say when your phone rings, you see a certain name, that name either excites you or it's like, oh, here this person goes. And there's multiple reasons that a person might feel a certain way towards you. Maybe you're a liability. Maybe you always need a loan. You know those people that every time you turn around, they need $20 every time. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand for other people how overwhelming that is, that you always need money. And maybe the people you're asking for money from are not that high above the poverty line. Maybe both of you are like treading on the poverty line, right? They're doing a little bit better than you, right? And then you're always needing something and you're never paying them back. You got to understand, like, when you're always taking money from people and never paying them back, right? Can you imagine that's why if you go, I don't know when I did this podcast, but I talked about the 15% rule, which is, I have a rule where if I borrow $100 from you, I want to pay you back 115 interest. You know what I mean? So that way, every time I need money from you, if I ever do, you're excited to give me a loan because you know that you're going to get that back plus interest. You know what I mean? I call it the 15% rule. It's how you incentivize somebody to even feel like loaning you money. Can you imagine if somebody that really believed in that rule needed $1,000 from you and both of you agreed to a 3-month term payment, 6-month payment, whatever the thing is, but you're like, yo, I'm going to pay this amount until it's paid off. I'll let you borrow $1,000, but pay me back 15% interest. I'm about to calculate how much that is. Actually, I have no idea, but give me a second. I got it. It's $150. So when you imagine you loan somebody $1,000, you get paid $1,000 plus an extra $150 interest. Yo, you would actually start calling them, yo, bro, have you been needing any money lately? Because you're trying to get an investment, like a return on your investment, like your ROI, they call it return on investment, ROI. So yeah, also, maybe the person you're trying to reach out to is very intellectual and they don't like shallow conversations. Maybe you're a very shallow person in terms of like, you only know how to talk about basic stuff like Netflix and Fortnite all day. And the person you're trying to reach out to, maybe they like talking about Jesus and scriptures and goals and like actually fulfilling their purpose before they die. That's how they're orientated. You know what I mean? So when a shallow person reaches out to a more in-depth person, the in-depth person is like, yo, here this person comes trying to have a shallow conversation again. Like, I'm not about that. So, maybe your personality is not in line with the person you're trying to reach out to, right? And they might have not told you that, and you might be like, yo, why would someone not tell me that they have an issue with me? Maybe because the issue is not worth addressing because they're not trying to change you. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of controlling people in this world, but there's a lot of people that won't say certain things to you because it sounds like they need you to be what they want you to be. And they're not the type to even try to change you. So they just come to the conclusion it's better that you be yourself on that side of the fence and I'll be myself on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, everybody brings joy into a room. Everybody, when you receive a text message from somebody, when you receive a phone call, either it's exciting or it's not. You know what I mean? And depending on that level of excitement determines how quickly you'll get back to somebody. A lot of you might send a text message and you think just because they saw it that they're now obligated to send you a response. But you got to understand, if you believe that, you're going to put them under pressure to feel like they're obligated to respond to you. And the more you make humans feel like they need to do something, the more they become rebellious towards you. And then they don't respond just to spite you, just to remind you that you're not their father, you're not their mother. You know what I'm saying? So like, it depends on what type of person you are. Maybe you're not very pleasant to be around, or maybe you're an amazing person and like they're just not your type of people, like whatever the person you're trying to reach out to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had dudes call me cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to understand, like, there's a huge temptation to never respond to that person ever again. It's like, bruh, like, come on, son. Like, I'm not gay, you know? Nothing against gay people, but it kills the vibe of wanting to talk to these people. Now, I love these people. Like, you know, I don't discriminate against gays, bis, trans. I don't care what you are, you know what I'm saying? But from my experience with hanging around gay dudes, they don't know where that line is where it's like, dude, you can't just be trying to palm my ass. Like, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so like, if I ever neglected a gay person's text message, is because, like, you know, they probably have intentions that I'm not about. You know what I'm saying? So, and they don't even know how they put like they make like situations awkward by not respecting the line. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where someone's line is. Sometimes we don't know the line when it comes to boundaries. You might make an inappropriate mom joke, you know, and you might think that the person's cool and they're going to tolerate it because maybe they talk about your mom. There's a lot of people, they might talk about your mom. As soon as you talk about theirs, it's an issue, right? Like maybe their mom died or whatever, and they won't tolerate that. And you might be like, yo, but you do it to me, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know why people are hypocritical like that. They'll do something to you that they would never be accepting of. So yeah, man, you just got to know where that line is, you know. Another reasons people might not answer back to you. You might think that that's your best friend. They might not view you in the same light. Like it might not be that deep to them, you know. Like to you, they might be one of the most amazing people that you've ever met, and you want to be around them, you know. Maybe you're negative. Maybe you have negative energy that they just don't like being around too much. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they're working on their goals, or you know what I'm saying? One thing I know for sure, here's one thing that people will always hit you with. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. Yo, if people love you, they get back to you. Trust me when I tell you that. It's not about being busy. It's how we prioritize our list of priorities. And when it comes to priorities, people prioritize different. Sometimes certain men, they put women before their job, before their career, before their dreams, before their goals. Like they love the woman so much more than God himself, you know, like to the point where it becomes idolatry. So the way his priorities are set up is, if she texts me and if she calls me, this one specific person, phone's at 15%. Even if it's like, you know what I mean? Like there's men out there that would respond quicker to their girlfriend than they would to their own mother because they love their girlfriends more than their mothers. I know that sounds messed up, but this type of shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because like people are always going to, you know, for the most part, a lot of people are going to be more connected to their significant other than they are to their moms. It's a different type of connection. You know what I'm saying? You're more drawn to the person, whether it be sexually, mentally, like spiritually, or you just always want to be around them. You know what I'm saying? So, and it depends on, you know, maybe the person you're talking to doesn't like text. I hate text messaging. People don't know how to read and comprehend. I make people call me. Like, I mean, I can't make you do anything, but what I'm saying is if you really, really want to have an in-depth, engaging conversation, I'm not doing that with you on a text message. It's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people usually have nothing to say on, here's what 95% of text messages sound like. Yo, what you doing? Yo, we're like 12 O's in it. Yo, you busy? Yo, like, yo, what you been up to lately, or how you been, or how, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like, do you need something? Like, whatever you need, let's get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to ask me what I'm doing at the moment. How is what I'm doing at the moment relevant to your life? Like, what does that have to do with you? You know what I'm saying? And here, I actually called somebody out on that. I'm like, bro, every time you ask me, what am I currently doing? You never actually care. It's only a follow up that leads to your actual question. And he actually admitted to it. He was like, you're right, bro. I don't care what you're doing. I only asked that because, you know, people have been indoctrinated to just communicate that way. Everybody else asks that question, what you're doing. So we normalize that. You know what I mean? Everybody normalizes that. To me, like, you know, it would seem more normal that if you have a point that you want to get to that point, instead of asking me what I'm doing when you don't care nothing about what I'm doing. People be like, yo, what are you doing right now? And then it'd be like, oh, and I'll be like, and then I'll tell them, oh, like, you know, watching Netflix, or, oh, watching a YouTube video. Then they'll be like, yo, I want to play basketball at 3 p.m. And I was wondering, do you want to come? You know, and it's like, people think that they have to know what you're doing before they can ask you, do you want to play basketball at 3 p.m.? I'm straight to the point. If I text you, yo, I'm playing ball at 3 p.m. I'd like to see you there, hopefully. You know what I mean? If not, maybe a different day, but just letting you know what I'm doing. That's it. Send. Like, I'm not asking you what you're doing, because what you're doing is not relevant to what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know, are you going to, like, hopefully you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you I'm going to be there. And if you decide to be there, then see you there. You know what I'm saying? That's like, why do I have to know what you're doing? So you got to know, like, Everyone has different lines. Everyone has different boundaries. Everyone's have different philosophies that within their own head make sense to them. And sometimes people's philosophy only makes sense to them and makes sense to nobody else around them. Sometimes it's like that. Like I have a friend who used to always ask his dad, like, yo, so, dad, what you doing today? And his dad be like, well, I'm going shopping. Oh, when you go shopping, what are you doing after that? Oh, after I'm going shopping, like I'm go to the bar and get a couple drinks. And he was like, oh, like, who are you going to be with? I'm going to hang out with this person. Oh, what time you coming back? And then the dad is like, yo, is there a fucking point to all these questions? And then, the son is like, well, I just want to know, can I borrow your vehicle from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m.? And then the dad is like, so you had to know my whole life schedule just to know, can you borrow my vehicle? You see what I mean? So the son that I'm talking about, he doesn't understand that people don't like a nuance of questions that leads nowhere. Like, get straight to the point so I could give you an answer. You know what I'm saying? And, but in his mind, it makes perfect sense to him because he needs to lay out every single question to know, can he borrow a vehicle? You know what I mean? So, like if he texts his dad, like, hey, dad, what you doing? His dad might instantly be like, oh, here we go. We're about to get into a series of questions that ultimately waste all of my time. And sometimes the dad might get into, well, what do you need? What do you want? And then the son thinks, oh, well, dad, why are you being rude to me? I'm just wondering, what you're doing at the moment. And then the dad is like, yo, every time you ask me what am I doing, it's because you need a favor. It's because you actually want something else. And what you want is not to know what I'm doing. You want to borrow something. You need money. Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? So the son might interpret it as, dad, you're being rude to me. But the dad is like, you're wasting my fucking time asking me 15 questions that have no relevancy to the one question that you actually wanted to ask me. So you got to understand, in the dad's mind, it makes him not want to answer that person's text messages because it leads to nothing. You see what I mean? So just giving you some tangible like examples of like what might, like, you never know what goes through a person's mind. Sometimes you might be frustrating a person. Sometimes you might be driving them up a wall and you have no idea because they maintain their posture and they make it seem as if you're not a nuisance to them, but you're a complete nuisance to them, right? And then they just sometimes you might call that fake. Like, yo, if somebody doesn't like me, why wouldn't they tell me that? But maybe they call it, just being cordial. Just because they don't like something you do doesn't mean you have to be their sworn enemy or let you know that they feel that way towards you. You know what I'm saying? And maybe these people just don't want to change you. What else? Maybe every time you have a conversation, maybe you're always dwelling on how your ex left you, how your ex is abusing you. Like, people get tired of hearing your sad stories and how your life sucks and how this, and they know that if they get on the phone or start texting you, that you're going to complain about your life for like 3 hours. They might not be in the mood to hear that all the time, or maybe all the time is the same story with you every time. That could get overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and plus, maybe they always give you advice on what to do, and they're so offended that you never listen to what they have to say. You know what I mean? So these are other reasons. Give me a second. What up, Keith? What up, Chris? I just realized you guys were here. Yeah, man. Let me tell you about some text messages that I've ignored in the past that I really didn't really have a response to. Give me a second. All right. So there was a person who wanted to do a music video with me, right? There was nothing appealing about answering to that text message because I know in the previous situation, he left me in a situation where he undercut me and he gave me less than what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And then told me I should be satisfied with that. It's like, all right, cool. He could continue being that way. Like, kudos to you. Like, free will. I believe in free will. Do as you please. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, go do that somewhere else though, So you got to understand, like, when you undercut me and when you play with my money, now that you need something from me, the temptation to even want to respond to your text message has drastically decreased because I'm like, yo, wait, what you trying to like make me be your pack mule again? Like, like you pay me $20 for something. What you're going to pay me for this favor? $5, $2, $1? Would you want me to do it for free? You got to understand, here's what would have made me answer to his text message. Bro, I want you to be in my music video. I'm willing to give you 100. I have about $150. I would give you 300, or I would give you, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that shit catches my eye. Like, you want to get someone's attention. Like, a lot of you want to get a favor for free and you think your friend is entitled to doing you a favor because you've known them for 10 years. So now that you want a ride to go to the mall, you think they should just drive you to the mall. And then when they ask you for gas money, you think that they're being unreasonable. Like, bro, we're friends. Like, why do you need gas money from me? Bro, like, because shit's not free. Like, that's why, you know what I mean? They might be in, like, and maybe they're always taking you to the mall and it gets overwhelming, and then there's people in this world, like I said, like, there's people in this world who will offer you assistance and tell you that yo, anytime you need help, I got you. But internally, they're suffering and they're like, fuck, man, this person's such a liability. They always need something. They always, and you might think that that's weird because it's like, bro, well, you told me that whenever I need help, but some people overstep their boundaries when it comes to asking for assistance. Like, that doesn't mean need help every 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, there's a line, and there's a lot of people who are a liability to others, and they don't know any lines. So they take it as, yo, if you tell me anytime I need help, then every time I need help, I'm coming to you. And they start treating you as if you're their Lord and Savior, you know what I'm saying? Or you're their walking bank account balance. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have money, so what? They could just come to you, you know what I mean? Like, and people get comfortable and just ask people. Some people are so comfortable in asking for a favor. Let me tell you about somebody else. What's up, Maritza? Let me tell you about somebody else that, they were so comfortable asking me for shit, man. There was this guy that he texted me at 7 in the morning. He's like, bro, can I get a bagel with cream cheese? Can I get Ritz crackers as well? Oh, by the way, I'm late for the bus. We were still in high school at the time. He's like, can you walk that bagel to my house? I'm like, what the fuck you think this is? A catering service? Like, he wants me to make him a bagel, walk it to him at his house at 7:30 in the morning because he's late for school. Because the previous day, I let him come to my house and I said, bro, anything you want in the fridge, you could eat whatever you want. I didn't always invite people to my house, but when I did, I always ate at their house. So I was just trying to, mutual respect. Like, you guys are welcome to eat and consume whatever you want. So some people, like, you know what I mean? Like, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You ever heard of that? Like, so yeah, this guy, he thought because he ate at my house the previous day that it's okay to text me at 7:30 in the morning talking about, bro, make me a bagel and walk it to my house. Like, so, you got to understand that person, his text messages, I'm sure get ignored all the time because, like, dude, like, it's like, bro, what's wrong with you? Your mother doesn't feed you? Like, people look at these text messages and don't think people don't read your text messages. They just might not be interested in responding to you because you don't have their attention. Attention is important. Let me talk about attention briefly. Every time you go to YouTube and you're being advertised to, whether it be 10 seconds, 15 seconds, sometimes these advertisements are forced where you have to watch it for at least 10 seconds or at least 15 seconds before you even allowed to hit the skip button. You know what I mean? And even though it's just 15 seconds, you're like, yo, screw you, marketer. Like, those are 15 seconds of my time. I didn't come here to be advertised to. I came here to watch PewDiePie videos or whatever, the cat videos. I don't know what the hell you watch. You came here to watch something other than being advertised to. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're being advertised to, those 15 seconds are stealing your time. You know what I'm saying? So, the way you look at YouTube commercials as it's like wasting your time, there's people that might view you as a waste of their time every time you reach out to them. You know what I mean? They might, or they might not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're actually doing something. Maybe they're actually busy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the mind could make you get cynical. It could make you say, yo, every time I reach out to you, you're busy. And it might make you feel like they're avoiding you. Maybe they are, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they're not. Like, I have no idea. One thing I know is when you are important to somebody, they will get back to you as soon as possible because you mean a lot to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be talking about they don't have time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing about people, right? There's a lot that people claim that they have no time for, but God forbid that you send an offensive text messages. Nobody responds quicker than an offended person. Like, you want to get a response back, it's like you have to push somebody's trigger button, and then they respond to that. They like you push their hot button, you push their red button, like they'll get back to you instantly in under 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? With a paragraph of how much they don't like your text message. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, it's like the quickest way to get someone to respond to you is to annoy them. Why do you think Lil Tay got famous? You know who Lil Tay is, right? That's that girl that be like, I'm only 9 years old and I got, and this wristwatch is more than your mother's rent. Like, bruh, she got famous annoying everybody. Like, that's how she got famous, because she knows how to play on people's psyche and like do shit that triggers people to want to leave a comment and want to share it with their friends she literally got viral off of trolling the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why trolls get famous, because they know that you're going to share it with your friends, not because it was an interesting video, but because the shit pisses you off and you think that she needs to be parented better and you want to blog about, you know what I'm saying? So like, yo, like, that's a formula. Some people use that as a formula to get famous. And, if people knew how to control their emotions, like 80% of the time, 90% of the time, a lot of these people that are famous would not be famous. Because can you imagine if 90% of this world knew how to maintain its emotion? We wouldn't react to Little Tay. We wouldn't react to Whoa Vicky. We wouldn't react to Cash Me Outside. How about that? Like, it's because people get so triggered and they feel the need to share everything, turn everything into a meme, and they share things that are not worth their time consuming. but they think it's worth their time because it entertained them. There's a reason that, yo, the I have so much to say. It's crazy. The entertainment industry, like, there's a reason that it's $1 billion industry. It's because we live lives that we're not proud of, and we need a form of escapism. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason that someone could watch 4 basketball games in a day. You know what I'm saying? You might be like, yo, well, the person really loves basketball. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, the person really loves basketball, but they also complain about their job and how much they hate that all the time. Or they complain about, and you might be like, well, bro, doesn't everybody need a form of escapism? But it's like, yeah, but when all you're doing is escaping from the life that you live, then you don't like the life that you live. Like, your escapism becomes your drug, even if it's not an actual drug. Give me a second. I'm at 5%. I'm gonna charge my phone. Give me a second. So I hope this is giving you some insight on, like, why someone would ignore you. There's always a reason. You know what I'm saying? And you might be more of a burden than you realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might always need a loan. People don't like giving you money all the time. Give me a second. This is why I created the 15% rule. You know what I'm saying? You want to incentivize people to give you a loan. Give them an incentive to want to give you one. That's why it's like, bro, like, if I ever borrow $500 from you, anything from you, my intention is to pay you back that plus 15% interest rate. Like, seriously, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it makes it worth your time to give me money, because now you're excited to give me money. You know what I'm saying? Now when ask you, if I text you that, you know that I believe in the 15% rule, that it's not a complete waste of your time. You're going to get your ROI. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get your return on investment plus more. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me less of a liability, like, you know what I'm saying? And let's imagine that we made a payment plan, and I stuck to the dates that I said I was going to pay you back the day I said I was going to have money. No excuses. I had it and gave it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like I said, you would be calling me, bro, you need some money? Like, I got some if you need it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you incentivize people to want to do something for you. To the person that texts me wanting me to be in his music video, if he would have gave me a price tag first, like, yo, bro, I got $100. I want you to be in my video, that would have caught my attention. But you got to understand, when you undercut me and then you need something from me, the likeliness of me responding to you is down a lot, a lot, a lot, because I'm like, I'm thinking about how much of a liability you're going to be to me in a situation. And this person thinks that he's doing me a favor because, like, we rapped together, we did a song together. And it's like, bruh, like, I'm going to get mines with or without you. You know what I'm saying? And, I need that person. Hopefully he believes the same thing for himself. He's going to get his with or without other people's assistance. Like, we get so bitter about having rich friends, or, well, I don't know if any of you have rich friends. I have a rich friend, but I don't feel like he owes me anything. This dude got like $100,000 in a bank account. I never once asked him for money. I don't want to taint our relationship, our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I talk to this person, I try to bring him value. Like, I know that he's a network marketer. If I ever find any videos that's worth my time consuming that taught me a lot, I'll send it to him. I'm like, bro, this brought me value. I hope it brings you value. It's nothing, you know what I'm saying? It makes us have a pure friendship. It makes me and him, it makes me not be a liability towards him. And, then he doesn't have to worry about me texting, talking about, bro, can you give me 2,000? I know you got it. And then, sometimes we do that, and then we make people feel bad for not wanting to give us money. And it's like, bro, you got $100,000 in a bank account. You can't give me $2. And then since we have a sense of entitlement through expectation, now we're disappointed, and we think that other people are the reason that we're frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's healthy not to have expectations. Like, when you ask for a $2,000 loan, knowing that they have the right to turn you down and say no, like, just start believing that people have the right to be the way that they are, to be what they prefer to be. That's what I do, bro. Like, I give people space to be what they prefer to be. Of course, I know that there's a lot of people that are being who they are at the moment, and it's not who they were created to be, is so much less than their potential. But they don't have to care about their potential. They don't have to, like, live a fulfilling life. They don't have to, like, be a good person. They don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's my job to love people where they're at and just try to encourage them to be better. You know what I'm saying? The best way that I know how, without being frustrated by these people, because nobody is under any obligation to do anything besides die. Like, us dying eventually, that's literally the one obligation I think we're obligated to do. You have to die. You know what I'm saying? Besides death, I struggle to think of things that you absolutely have to do. You might be like, well, people have to get a job. No, they don't. Like, they could live off other people their whole life. And you might be like, yeah, but then they're moving from couch to couch to couch. Like, you got to understand, every time you tell another human being they have to do something, it's because you fear the consequence of what happens if they don't do that thing. But they don't have care about the consequence. Like, hell, people might use hell as the reason why you should believe in God, you should love God, because if you don't, you go to hell. You know, like whether that's true or not, that doesn't compel a person to care about the afterlife. Like there's people that don't even believe in the afterlife. You know, if a person doesn't believe in the afterlife, you think you're going to scare them with hell? You know what I'm saying? And so we try to guilt trip people into feeling a certain way and to getting a response out of people and we don't realize how manipulative we're being. You know what I'm saying? You understand all these characteristics, all these traits that I just named. These might be reasons that people don't respond to your text messages. People don't answer your phone calls because it's always about religion. It's always about you're going to hell if you don't change. You're always trying to whip people into shape and transform people into the image that you want them to be instead of, and you have you have no concern for what they prefer to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I ask, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a lot of friends that have a lot of anxiety, right? I don't pressure them to get rid of their anxiety. I simply ask them, bro, like, do you want to get rid of your anxiety? You know what I'm saying? They don't even answer the question. They say, it's hard, man. It's hard, you know? And I'm like, bro, you keep obsessing over how hard it is. You're going to have anxiety your whole life. Like, it's not about, is it hard? It's about, do you want it? Like, is it hard to get into heaven? Yeah, it's fucking hard, but is it worth your time if you get into heaven? You know what I'm saying? If you die and go to heaven, would it be worth your time to do all the things that it requires for you to get to heaven? Of course it is. You know what I mean? This is probably a stupid question. You know what I mean? So why is it not a stupid statement to focus on how difficult something is? It's not about difficulty. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's hard. If it's worth your time, it's supposed to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Like if you sleep with a girl today, how much is she worth to you tomorrow if you just met her 10 minutes ago? What is she worth to you tomorrow if you sleep with her today? But if she makes you wait 3.5 years, you know what I'm saying? And you know how much more like she's gonna mean to you if you stuck around that long. First of all, to the woman, she's gonna think that you're worth her time because she's like, damn, you stuck around 3.5 years. Like most men, if they don't get it in 3 weeks, they're out. If they don't get it in a couple days, they're out. You know what I'm saying? Like some women do that to weed out the people that are time wasters. You know what I'm saying? Women, that might be a lot. Let's talk about women for a second. Women might not answer a lot of text message from guys because from their history of dealing with men, the only types of guys they deal with are the guys that are not trying to bring any type of value to their life. They just like trying to have sex. That's it. You gotta understand like how many other men are trying to do that with her. And it makes you not stand out from the other thirsty people that's all they want. So if you're dealing with a woman and she's not answering your texts, maybe you sound like all the men that she can't stand. And maybe she believes that she knows exactly what your intention is, and maybe she doesn't know your intention for real. Like maybe she might perceive you to be a certain way because some of these girls, they do act Hollywood. They act like every guy's like the same, like, right? But these are broken people, you know what I mean? And when they replay their past in their head over and over and over again, yesterday becomes tomorrow indefinitely forever. Yesterday will always be tomorrow. It doesn't matter if the last 18 guys that she met were the same and she thinks that you're the 19th and maybe you're nothing like the last 18 guys. But in her mind, if she believes that, then there's no difference between you being exactly like those other 18 guys that she met. There's no difference between that being a reality or it being in her head, because once it's in her head, it is her reality. Everybody within their own head is within their own reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, and whatever makes sense to them, it makes sense to them currently. It's because they have a mindset that makes those type of thoughts reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I hope I'm bringing value. I just went on a tangent, like a spree of different sporadic thoughts, but this shit just comes to me. It's in my heart, man. I'm passionate about certain things. And, yeah, man. Another thing, I want to talk about Instagram. I want to talk about marketers, right? I have ignored a lot of network marketers who inbox me and they say the same stuff. They'd be like, oh, thanks for connecting. Like, I hope that, they'd be like, what did they be like? They'd be like, thanks for connecting. I hope we could collab on ideas and thanks for accepting my friend request, smiley face. My instant thought is, what are you trying to sell me? Now, all these people, these might be some good people. They might not be trying to sell me anything, but you know what I'm saying? Like my history of dealing with network marketers, always trying to pitch me your bullshit digital product that I didn't ask you about. You know what I'm saying? And I've had people block me because I won't join their business. You know what I'm saying? I had people try to like give me a desperate sales pitch. I'll actually send them content that I believe is worth their time. Like, yo, bro, here's a video that teaches you how to be a better marketer. I'll send that to them. They might get insulted or offended. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe I don't like their approach, or maybe they think that I shouldn't have done that, And it's like, here's the thing, bro. If you pop up in my inbox for something I didn't ask for, right? Which is your digital bullshit product, right? When I respond with, here's how you effectively market without, you know what I'm saying, annoying people. Like I send you a video that really teaches you how to be a better marketer. You might be like, well, I didn't ask for that video. Well, likewise, you know what I'm saying? I didn't ask for your bullshit digital product. So now we're even, right? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, like, as a marketer, right? Now I'm talking to the marketers. As soon as people look at your bio and they see entrepreneur, they instantly think of desperate salesman who's trying to pitch me something that I don't want. They instantly think that, and maybe they accept your friend because it doesn't mean they like you. It doesn't mean they're going to engage with you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people view salesmen as all of them being their same. They're all sleazy. They all just want to push a product. Nobody cares about the customer. It's all about profit. That's because 90% of the industry is like that. You know what I'm saying? So the 90%, these people speak so much louder than the 10% of people that are actually ethical. Like, you know what I'm saying? I saw this one video where this salesman who, he's not a sleazy person anymore, but he used to be the type of person and be like, yo, you should buy my product. And then the person be like, yo, well, I don't know if I should because it's $1,000 product. It's a $2,000 product. Like, yo, if I buy this shit, I've been spending money like crazy lately. My wife is probably going to divorce me because she's had long conversations with me, how she's not satisfied with how I spend the money. And, and he'd be like, look, dude, if you don't buy my product, your wife will definitely divorce you because your life is going to be your life is going to be so much better. Your wife is gonna love you more. Just buy this product, man. Like, don't worry about your wife divorcing you. Like, that's not gonna happen. Your wife is gonna leave you if she finds out you had access to an opportunity that you didn't take advantage of. Like, that's the type of salesman that he didn't care about people's marriages. He didn't care about, yo, like, your customer's not qualified to buy your product because they don't have the money for it. He's learned some things. Now he realizes, yo, if you don't have the money to buy my product, please don't buy it. You know what I'm saying? Please don't put your marriage in jeopardy for the sake of buying my bullshit product. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man. I think that these things are having ethics. It matters. You know what I'm saying? Like caring about people, this shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like this. The reason I talk about Jesus a lot, like, is because yo, I believe if every salesman, if every network marketer had the personality of Jesus, like people would want to know what they're doing. Like there's a reason that people gravitated towards Jesus. People wanted to be around him. People want whatever he wanted to say. People were listening all the time. He had people's attention. Why? Because he's loving, because he's not alive for himself, because it's about the next man. It's about the other person. You know what I'm saying? Because he has concern for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is the part where, they brought a promiscuous woman to Jesus and they was like, what should we do with this woman? I think she got caught in the act of cheating on her husband or something like that. They had stones in their hands ready to stone her to death for the sin she committed. And Jesus simply said, he that's without sin cast the first stone, which means if you're not guilty of doing anything ever, if you're pure-hearted to the core and you never did anything wrong ever, then feel free to stone her to death if you feel like it. Because then, you would be qualified to do so if you're perfect. Jesus was the only person that was perfect, that was qualified to stone her to death if he wanted to, but yet chose not to. And everybody dropped their stones and walked away. And when he looked at her, he told her to, continue on without sinning, live her life without sinning. You know what I mean? He had compassion for her. He cared about her, you know what I'm saying? And saved her life, So I'm so impressed with that story because there's so many people that today we're always picking up our stones. We're ready to stone people to death for the mindset that they have, for the stupid decisions that they make people feel less than just because they don't understand something that we understand. And then there's a lot of people that go to church that think they're saved, that make fun of people that are not saved. And it's like, bro, there was a time when you had no understanding of the Bible. There was a time when you thought God was a joke. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody who has your old mindset, now they're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Well, what about you? Wasn't you ignorant when you had the same mindset that you're now criticizing? You know what I'm saying? So, but anyways, like when you have love for people, people listen to you. People flock towards you. There's so many people, they're giving away like a sample of their course. Like, well, they'll give an advertisement, right? They'll put out content that's only for their beneficial use. They'll be like, yo, like the content they put out is not bringing value. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be nothing but income results. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be like a motivational quote here and there, but all of it with the intention of leading up to a sale. Nothing about the other person. This is why, like, when I start promoting, I don't know when I'm going to start promoting the products that I'm using right now, but whenever I do, all of my podcasts, all of my content, it's about mindset. It's about saving marriages, like saving like people, like, it's all about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that when I put out these podcasts, now if I start marketing, yo, some people are going to care. People are going to ask me, yo, bro, what you been doing lately? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now they care about my bullshit digital product. You see what I mean? Like, not that it's bullshit, but I'm just saying that because like a lot of people's products are like You know what I mean? Like they just want to sell it. There's people that don't believe in what they're selling. They only believe in getting the profit from the customer, but they don't believe in the product because they don't care about the product. They just care about the potential profits. And that's the only reason they're hitting up customers. So if you're a network marketer, you got to understand this is why people are ignoring your text messages, because they don't know what's in it for them. Of course, you're trying to convince them to buy the product. Of course, it's the most awesome thing in the world. You're saying that because you want a sale, but do you care about the person you're selling it to? Do you think they're quality? Is it $1,000? If it's $1,000 product, like, do you know them enough to know that their financial situation is not good? Like, their wife might divorce them if you make that sale, because the wife has been pissed off at this dude for so long, spending money inappropriately. And now you add to the reason why this person is spending money recklessly. And now you add to the reason why they're divorced, because they bought your product that they couldn't afford because you convinced them that they should. You know what I'm saying? Ethics matter. You know what I'm saying? Caring about people's current situation matters. Like, if I'm ever in a situation where I have $1,000 product and your wife might leave you if you buy my product, bro, don't buy my product. Like, go attend to your wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? For real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's my business card. Like, talk to me when, if you ever need anything, if you ever need a conversation. There's a lot of marketers that they don't want to have any conversations unless the conversation leads to a sale. That's it. Like, I'm not wasting time with anybody who's not trying to buy my stuff. And they only add people that potentially could be interested in their business. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? And, people do I'm not judging anybody, but you got to understand, when your mindset is a certain way, people are not stupid. You can't trick people. Like, they're going to know what type of person you are based on what you produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you produce, that's who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you post nothing but negativity, here's the thing, right? People post nothing but negativity, right, on your wall. People will label you a negative person, and you'll be like, yo, why are people so judgmental? You're giving them ammunition. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at your last 10 posts and it's bitch this, cunt that, and you know what I'm saying? I'm unhappy and this and that, and people should die who do this, and it's like nothing but toxic venom. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, when people look at your last 10 posts and then they judge you based on that, that's what came out of your mind. That's what came out of your heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything you say is nothing besides a reflection of what you think about daily. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything you say is a reflection of what you think. So when people judge you on your words, when people judge you based on what you're saying, it's a reflection of your heart. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between what somebody thinks about you and what somebody says about you? Because what they have to say about you is what they think about. You think people are going to start saying things that they don't actually think about you? Like, they'll say whatever it is that they think. This is why I talk about the halo effect. And I tell people that if you give people good reasons to say good things about you, they'll say good things about you. Some of you are some negative ass people, and you might be like, yo, how come people never have anything positive to say? Well, you need to take a good look within yourself. Is there anything positive about you, or are you always negative? You know what I'm saying? Because if you were as positive as you perceive yourself to be, and here's the thing about self-righteousness. Every man before the mirror thinks he's so good, thinks he's qualified to get into heaven, thinks he's qualified to, get recognition, to receive gratitude, for people to be forever indebted to you and thankful for whatever it is that you think you're doing that's so good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a person that invited me to live with them. He thought I owed him so much gratitude because, man, I'm letting you stay with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I didn't ask to be here. You asked me to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes you might do something, which brings me to my last podcast, right? I want to talk about that briefly, and then I'm going to get back on topic, and then I'm probably going to close this podcast. Yesterday, I talked about gratitude. I said everybody's grateful for something. They might not be grateful for the things that you think they should be grateful for, but the reason it's an inconvenience to you is because you do things for them and you think they owe you gratitude. You know what I'm saying? And, and every time you think a human owes you something, you're positioned to not get what you think you deserve and then be pissed off because of it. And then you're going to think your anger has something to do with them. It's everything to do with your expectations, because other people don't create your expectations. You create them. And as quickly as you could remove a lot of your expectations, you could remove disappointment from your life, because every disappointment is directly linked to an expectation. You see what I mean? Like, give me a second. So, yeah, man. I used to be disappointed all the time because I had expectations. I thought people should love me. People should care. People should do this. They should consider me. You know what I'm saying? So I was an emotional liability. Now when people don't answer my text messages, now in hindsight, I understand why. I was a fucking emotional liability that people prefer not to deal with. And when I become a person that you prefer not to deal with, well, then no fucking wonder you're not responding to my text messaging. You rather not deal with me. You know what I mean? It goes without saying that if there's a person that you rather not deal with, they're gonna ignore your text messages. They're gonna not respond to you. They're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody brings joy to a room either by entering it or by leaving it. You know what I'm saying? So when you enter a party, either people are excited that you just walk through those doors and they can't wait to see you and hug you and greet you, or they're excited that you just left the room. You know what I'm saying? So what type of energy do you bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that you might not know unless you have self-awareness. And if you don't have self-awareness, the best thing to do is ask people, what are my biggest strengths? What are my three biggest strengths, my three biggest weaknesses? A lot of your friends won't tell you your three biggest weaknesses, because when you ask for feedback, like, this happens with a lot of artists. Artists will be like, yo, be honest, do you like my song? And then a person be like, nah, I think the song's kind of whack, like, you know. Or a person's like, they're dead serious. They're like, yo, I would never download that song. You know, like, no offense to you, but it's not some shit that I would download. Like, it's not for me. And then the artist will be so brokenhearted about it. Like, oh, why don't you like it? Why this and why that? And you know what I'm saying? And put pressure on people to make them feel like they owe you an explanation. And you know what I'm saying? Do you know how much more cool you would be people would like to talk to you more if you was an artist who doesn't care who likes your music. Just knowing that there's people in here, in this world, who's gonna like it. Somebody's gonna like it. I hate Minecraft. It wasn't created for me to like. Other people like it. It doesn't matter that I hate Minecraft. The dude who created it still made 1 point something billion off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should go to show you that. And you know, I know this is a generation where when it comes to video games, we think that it's all about graphics, or if it doesn't have good graphics, it's not going to sell, or it's not, you know, we look at certain things. Yo, Minecraft, in my opinion, looks like a $50,000 game, $100,000 game, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never guessed that it would have been $1 billion game. Like, who would have known, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a niche topic out here for everybody. There's something that I don't care about slime or how to make slime, but that's a niche topic that millions of people care about. Like, people want to know how to make slime. Like, I don't give a damn about fidget spinners, but people care about that. You know what I'm saying? So this is why when I do podcasts about insecure artists, I need you guys who make music to know it's okay for people to not like your stuff. Somebody's going to like it. And when you meet someone who doesn't like your service or your product or your music or your song, they're not your target audience. You got to know who your target audience is, who you're actually trying to reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I do these motivational speeches, you think I'm trying to talk to the people that are not trying to be motivated? Like, that's not my target audience. So if somebody gets on here and they're like, I don't like any of your podcasts, I'm like, cool, you know, well, you know, you don't have to listen to them, right? Like, there's no obligation to listen to these things. I mean, you know, you could delete me, you could block me, you could, you know what I'm saying, unsubscribe, like all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. And anyways, yeah, so when you become a warm-hearted person, when you become something that people want to be around, something that people can't wait to find out more about, now people are interested. Now you have somebody's attention. Don't think just because you send somebody a message on Facebook and you see the little R symbol that indicates that they read your message, that you now have their attention. It depends on what you're saying. You might not have their attention. Like I said, when gay people hit me up and they be like, hey, cutie, yo, you don't have my attention saying that to me. That doesn't catch my interest. You know what I'm saying? To the gay people hitting me up, you want to get my interest, you know, and not in that type of way, because I'm not gay at all. But what I'm saying is, you want to have a conversation with me, look through my wall, look through the last 15 posts that I made. You know, if you message me about the type of shit that I write about, that I talk about, you find a common ground with me, and then you message me about those things. You know how interested I would be in having a conversation with you, because maybe you're like-minded, or maybe you're philosophical like me, or maybe you care about goals and purpose and bringing value to people. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know how excited I am to have those type of conversations. Like I said in my podcast yesterday, you might have 100, like, or what you call it, $50 Dunkin' Donuts cards, and you might give that to 100 people, and you might think everyone's going to value it the same way. There's people that don't give a damn about donuts. I love donuts, but you might not have the right target audience. You might buy somebody a vehicle that they don't want, and then they show a lack of gratitude for it. And you're like, yo, you know, you should be grateful because it's better than taking a bus, but you just bought them a hoopty, you know? And it's like, bruh, like, and you didn't include them in that decision. Like, maybe they wanted a different car. Maybe they would have much preferred for you to take them to the dealership and be like, bro, I'm buying you a car. Come with me to this dealership and let's pick out a car for you. What I notice when it comes to gratitude, when it comes to being thankful, people are very thankful when you include them in the gift that you want to get them. You know what I'm saying? When you include them in the decision making process, when you be like, bro, instead of just giving people shit, what you perceive to be a gourmet dinner, that in somebody else's mind, they perceive what you just gave them as a bag of potato chips. You know what I'm saying? So like getting back to yesterday's podcast, if you wonder why people are ungrateful, what you think is a gourmet dinner, they think is a bag of potato chips, and that's not valuable to them. You know what I'm saying? And you might be like, well, a bag of potato chips is better than not receiving anything. There's people in this world who rather receive nothing than to receive something that they didn't ask for and something that they didn't want. And since I understand that very clearly, this is why if people are not asking me for my opinion, I'm not willingly giving it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I do these podcasts because it's a way to reach you on a subliminal, conscious or subconscious level. You know what I'm saying? I'm not directly talking to anybody. You know what I'm saying? The power of these podcasts is if you take interest in any of the philosophies that I have and you believe that adopting them could add value to your life and make you a better person, you know what I'm saying? Then you could do that. Like a lot of these podcast discussions that I have, these things would pan out differently if I was talking to people one on one, because people have so much resistance towards new ideas, towards new income opportunities, towards whatever the hell it is that I could be talking about at the moment. People have been indoctrinated so damn hard that their belief system is all they know and it's all they care to know. And even though, you know what I'm saying, there is a whole new world out there that they haven't even seen yet. Like there's this quote, man, that says there's people prefer an unfamiliar a familiar hell is better than an unfamiliar heaven, which means people will choose the hell that they're used to than the potential heaven that they have no idea if it's even obtainable for whatever reason, you know. And I know it doesn't make sense to a lot of people because it's like, why would you choose hell? But I don't know, man. Like, people are complacent. People like routine. Humans don't like change. You know what I'm saying? This is why they stick to what they know. They don't like change. This is why for you entrepreneurs that are desperately trying to convince the working man that he's a sucker, to them, they're like, yo, man, I'm not trying to make sales. Like, now my livelihood depends on my ability to make a sale. And to the salesman, you understand, like, if you make 3 sales in a day, every day consistently, and each sale is worth $100, that's $300 a day. That's much more than you used to make. But you can't sell everybody on that, because some people prefer to be a working man because they think they have job security, or they think that, you know what I mean, they care about their 401ks or their health benefits, or, you know, that means something to them. Or, you know, some people are only in the medical field because you know what I'm saying, their kids will never have to pay for a doctor's visit. And that's the only reason they want to be a nurse, or that's the only reason they want to be, you know what I'm saying? Because their kids benefit from them doing that. They know that if they become a salesman, yeah, they'll have more money, but their kids won't have any benefits anymore. And some people are scared to take the risk, you know what I mean? So because I have empathy for everybody and everybody's situation, I understand if you're not willing to take a risk, maybe what I'm saying is just not for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's for somebody else. But sometimes I struggle with that too, because like sometimes I wonder how many people claim that I'm not a salesman, but they could have made $4 million per year consistently if they would have learned the skills that it takes to be one. You know, how many people, when they say I'm not a salesman, what they're actually saying is I'm not willing to learn what it takes to be one, not knowing that they have the potential to be one of the greatest salesmen in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I'm gonna get into a different topic, like briefly, and then hopefully get back on topic. I'm circling around like with a bunch of different shit, just random stuff coming to my head. But Jeff Bezos, right? Like, that's the guy, he runs Amazon. He has 6,000 people working for him. The reason I talk about potential so much is because when you reach yours, whatever that is, and I'm not saying you're going to have 6,000 people working for you or you're going to be like, become bigger than Amazon. I have no idea what your potential is. Like some people's potential is, you know, $200,000 a year, which is to somebody, there's somebody in the world who doesn't think that's a lot of money, but you know, it's easy for someone to say that when they have millions or they have billions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who think 50,000 is a lot of money. There's people who, you know, I had a video yesterday. Do you know that you're in the top 1% when you make $32,000 a year? Like, you're in the top 1% of the world, you know? But the top 1% of America, the bottom of that 1% actually starts at like $430,000 a year. I know a lot of people think it starts at $1 million. It actually starts at $400,000 a year, something like that. That's when you're in the 1% of America. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the video was funny. It was talking about the dreaded 1%, like how some people are so mad that people have more money than you have, but you're not willing to do the work that they did to get what they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get mad at people that have private jets and Lamborghinis, but we don't want to learn from these people what they did to get there and maybe apply some of the strategies. Like, people hate Ty Lopez. That's the here in my garage guy. Like, he'd be like, I'm here in my garage, and he has a Lamborghini behind him. And we hate those advertisements, right? We're like, why is this guy so flashy? You know what I'm saying? I saw an interview with this dude because I was curious too. I'm like, well, why is he doing that? And I found out, someone asked him, dude, why do you stand behind a Lamborghini? Why do you stand in front of a Lamborghini in your advertisements? He said, because I have 5 seconds to get your attention before you skip my advertisement. He says, because a lot of kids follow me, a lot of 15, 16-year-olds. And I know that 15 and 16-year-olds, a lot of dudes, like a lot of young men, they care about this stuff. They like Lamborghinis. They like big houses. He said, I figured if I do my advertisements and within the first 5 seconds, I get your attention. Now that I have your attention and now that I have the stuff that you consider important, now you deem me worthy of being a qualified person to talk to you about other things. Now, when I talk to you about how important it is to read books, you'll listen to me. Now, when I tell you the importance of education, you'll listen to me. Now, when I tell you about different philosophy principles that you could apply that will let you gain a lot of wealth in this life, now you'll listen to me. You know what I'm saying? So it just made so much sense on a psychological level. He was like, bro, I got 5 seconds before you skip my advertisement. I have to come with my best shit. Otherwise, you're going to press the skip button and I'll never get your attention ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've studied Ty Lopez, and he talks about a lot of books that, I'm sure these books are great. I haven't read a lot of them. I'm not really a reader. I'm more of a podcast consuming type of person, video. Everybody consumes content in different ways, and so anyways, so I thought that was cool, like he actually does bring value in some of his videos. I've learned from him. I've learned quite a few things. One of my favorite moments from one of Ty Lopez videos, he was talking about how he was hanging out in a room full of 15 or 16 millionaires, and he did all the talking the whole time. He spoke the whole time. And then one of those millionaires came up to him and they laughed at him. They was like, you think you know a lot about money, but you don't understand shit. And he laughed at him and walked away. And he said that stuck with him so long. And he said, in the back of my mind, I said, these people are millionaires. I barely have 100,000. Why would I do all the talking? Like, why would I not let them talk so I could absorb whatever wisdom and knowledge they have to offer? You know what I'm saying? Like, their net worth is so much higher than his was at the moment. And he learned to shut up. He learned to when you're around people that have more than you, listen to what they have to say, because maybe they're qualified to guide you on how to get these things. You know what I mean? So it actually humbled him. Like, that was one of my favorite Ty Lopez moments. I would have never got to that moment if I hated this dude for standing in front of a Lamborghini and thinking that he's flashy and who does this guy think he is and what the hell and why am I being advertised to? Like, if I had a negative mindset towards him, I would have never gotten to that, my favorite moment of him, when he said that. When he said, when you hang around people that have more than you, listen, they might actually have something valuable to say, especially if you admire the lifestyle that they live and they have possessions over things that you want to purchase yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Anyways, so I'm kind of going on a rant, went super off topic, but yeah, in closing, it's probably going to be the last thing I say. Just know that whatever value you think you bring to a person, somebody might mean the world to you. It doesn't mean you mean the world to them. You know what I mean? Somebody, you might get so excited when they call your phone. They might not have the same level of excitement when you call their phone, when you text their message, when you text message their phone. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes there's people in this world that you're just not going to please, no matter how much of, even if you are living to your full potential, even if you are exactly what God created you to be, there's a chance that some people still won't like you. You know what I'm saying? People Adam and Eve walked away from God himself. You think people are not going to walk away from you? Judas betrayed Jesus. You think people in this world are not going to betray you? Adam and Eve saw God in the flesh, walked with him and all that, and turned away. So as amazing as God is, or as amazing as some of you, believe that God is, just understand that they walked away from that. You're going to get walked away from too. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it personal when people ignore you. There's millions of people in this world. Somebody won't be your friend. Somebody will be your friend. Somebody will. You're just interacting with the wrong people. Don't take it personal when people cut you out of their life, block you on all social media. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship with them might not be as deep as you thought that it was. And a lot of people pretend. And the more time that you spend dwelling on why people pretend, how come I thought they liked me, I thought they loved me, it just takes away from the time that you could spend living a fulfilled life, figuring out what your purpose is. Like, bro, you're going to die soon, one day. I don't know when, hopefully not soon. Hopefully you got 80 years to live. I don't know how much time you got, but all the time you spend dwelling, it just takes away time from your clock that you could spend executing on things that you want to execute on. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I don't give myself space to complain about things anymore, about someone's attitude, what somebody's doing, how they feel about me, how they act. It doesn't matter. When I stand before God, it's not about other people. It's about my performance. It's about how well did I execute? You know what I'm saying? It's not about what people said to me. It's how I responded. You know what I'm saying? Because whether or not God could be found in my response towards another human, like other people be like, yo, well, you made me spaz out on you. And it's like, bro, like, did they make you spaz out? Or like, did you take what they said, interpret it as you now have a justified reason to lose your mind? And now you feel justified in spazzing out. And that's why you spaz out, because you feel justified in doing so, because you have a criteria that's been violated. You have an expectation that hasn't been met, that someone walked all over, and now you feel justified in, talking to them a certain way, So I don't know, man. There's so much power in not having a trigger button. People literally can't annoy you anymore. Some of you think people are so annoying. It's because you have a lot of triggers, and you remove these triggers by loving people. When you start loving the people that drive you crazy, like really loving them, and to love a person, it takes patience. Love is patient. Love is kind. Anybody that you're not being kind towards is because you have a lack of patience towards them. Because when you have kindness, patience is the next thing, the next virtue. Your kindness for people flows out of your patience for them. Anybody you have zero patience for, that's why you're verbally abusing them. That's why you're physically abusing them. That's why you talk to them like they're less than dirt. You know what I'm saying? Because when they say things that you think are triggering you, you have no patience for them. And one reason, because you don't view them in the same light that God himself views them. You know what I'm saying? Like, God loves these people that you're complaining about. You know what I'm saying? He loves them very much. And if you ever learn how to see these people the same way that God does, they won't annoy you anymore. Because I promise you, God is not in heaven right now annoyed by people. You know what I'm saying? He's not having a bad day because you won't change, or because someone else won't change. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I know that you wasn't created to have these type of issues. It's because if God was annoyed easily, man, this world would be scarier than it is, man. Like, he'd just be smiting things left and right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, before I go on a rant and talk to you all day, like, I'm trying to create some YouTube videos and do a couple editing and stuff like that. And I got stuff I got to do. Like, so anyways, I love you guys very much. If there's ever a specific topic you want me to cover, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'll be glad to try to talk about it if I'm able to, unless it's about cars or, you know what I'm saying, or something that I'm super uneducated on. But if it's about mindset, emotion, philosophy, quotes, yo, this happened, this particular situation happened to me, how would you have handled it? Can you tell my story on your podcast? Dude, I'd love to tell your story, whatever it is. And I'll leave you anonymous. People don't have to know who you are. And if you want my honest input on your story, whatever it is, man, just send me something. I'll be glad to respond to it. And just know that if people are ignoring you, it might not have nothing to do with you. You might be an amazing person. Maybe you are. You know what I'm saying? I know the first 20 minutes of this podcast, it might have sounded negative. It might have sounded like I'm making you seem like you're the worst person on earth, and that's why people are not responding. You might just not be someone's cup of tea for whatever reason. And please don't dwell on that reason, because it just doesn't matter. Just find new people. I don't trip over people who don't like my music. My music is not made for people that won't like it. I'm looking for the people that will get some type of value out of it. Those are the people I write it for. You know what I'm saying? Whoever those people are. When I meet people that they think my voice is annoying, or they don't like this, or they don't like it's cool, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? I move on. I don't get mad that they said that, by the way. Like, I feel like they have the right to feel like they don't like something. Like, who am I to, if I have the right to say, think, and feel what I want, then who am I to tell you that you have no right to say, think, and feel what you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, man. Anyways, if you become the person that people can't wait to be around, people love being around you, I promise you their response time to your text messages, they increase, because people love you that much. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how much somebody loves you, how much somebody considers you and cares for you. I used to have a friend try to make me feel obligated to respond to his text messages. He's like, yo, you're my brother in Christ. You're this, you're my friend in God, or all these things. You should respond to my text message. You should. I told him, I was like, bro, if you was the woman of my dreams, I'd respond to you. Like, cause he'd be like, yo, what about that girl you always talk about, dude? You respond to her in like 5 minutes. But when it comes to me, you'll get back to me in a week. I'm like, bro, like, with me and you, it's not that deep. Like, what the hell? Like, but with me and her, it is that deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's, it just is like, and I know that's partiality, that's what you call it, That's being partial in your love for people. You know what I'm saying? I think they call it partiality, if I'm using the right word. You know what I mean? That's when you love a person more than other people, which is it's probably wrong. I probably should work on that, to be honest, because that means that I'm going to have more grace towards one person than someone else. And I know that God views everybody in the same light. But yeah, man. So just know that if it was that deep, people would get back to you quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because they would view you in the same light that maybe you view them. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, last thing. And he used to, here's one thing I told him. I was like, bro, you can't stand on my side of the chessboard moving my pieces for me. Like, you can't tell me what pieces I should move in chess. You know what I'm saying? I was using that as a metaphor to say that you might think that I should respond to your text messages, but it's my side of the chessboard. The ball is in my court. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to make the move. I decide what I do with my life. And it's not arrogant. Sometimes people perceive that as arrogance. Like, oh, you're arrogant talking like that. Like, nah, bro. Like, how is it arrogant for me to remind you that I have free will and I'm under no obligation to do the things that you think I need to be doing? That's not arrogance. That's me reminding you that I have free will because you're trying to tell me I have obligations to be the friend that you need me to be. Bro, I could kick you out of my life today if I want to. What you mean I'm obligated? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man. I just, like sometimes sometimes I remind entitled people that, I don't owe you anything. Like, you could have a sense of entitlement if you want, but you walk around thinking I owe you something, you're going to be disappointed. Just letting you know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had and on a final note, this is really the last note that I'm closing this. I had a neighbor who, she was going through something. She asked me a question, right? She said, "Can I trust you?" I was like, honestly, I wouldn't advise it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put your hope and your faith in me. Like, she was like, "Oh, okay." Like, and she was kind of like, she was like, "Oh, that's weird." Actually, this is how I responded. She was like, "Can I trust you?" I said no, and then I said, "Never trust a human." And then she said, "Oh, well, I'm human. I'm trustable." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then she went into a lot of stuff. She was like, "Oh, I was feeling down. I was feeling suicidal. You were supposed to be there." I'm like, "Bro, how was I supposed to know that you was feeling that type of way?" You know what I mean? She considers herself an empath or whatever. She thinks that I'm supposed to just pick up on every emotional cue. Here's another thing, and this is gonna be a topic for a different discussion. But when you think that they're supposed to know how you feel, they're supposed to know what you're thinking. Like, bro, how the hell? Like, no one's reading your mind. Like, unless you say specifically how you feel, there's things that you believe shouldn't have to be communicated because it should just be understood. But if you're not communicating it, there's a chance that it won't be understood because you don't know that. That's prideful to say that. You know what I'm saying? To say that, no one should have to, like, people should just reach out to you. They should just know that you're doing bad. Like, if you make it a point to say that, some things need to be said in plain English. Don't leave it up to interpretation because there's people that won't interpret it the way you think they should. And now you're going to get mad at these people just because they're not in your head. That shit is stupid. So anyways, I had a neighbor who asked me a terrible question. "Can I trust you?" The point of her messaging me that day, it was not to ask me, "Can I trust you?" Like, she had a deeper point she wanted to get to. She was feeling suicidal. She needed assistance, whatever. This is why when I tell people, yo, when you have something you want to say, get straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Because, like, now I'm answering an irrelevant question and it's going to deter away from the thing that you actually wanted to talk about. So because I said, no, you shouldn't trust me. You know what I mean? Like, she took that personal or whatever and blah, blah, blah. Like, anyways, the conversation that could have happened didn't happen because she didn't simply get to the point and be like, yo, like, I'm going through something. Can I talk to you on the phone? Or can I, like, what would you do if you're going through this? Like, you know what I'm saying? She literally asked me a question that had no relevance towards, I don't know, like, and I don't know if she thought that I'm gonna, like, yo, put you on social media and tell everybody what you're going through. Like, nah, it's not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is, here's the thing, right? If you're feeling suicidal, the last thing you should worry about is who's gonna post about it on social media. It's like, bruh, like, if you don't get help quickly, you might actually go through with your suicidal thoughts. And then when you're gone, what does it matter who's posting about you on social media? Like, you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to find help. Like, we worry about stupid shit. Who's going to post what? Who's going to say what? If I tell you this, who are you going to tell? You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to secrets, I have none. And when I tell you shit, I just assume that you're going to tell everybody on social media. That's why, like, I make sure whatever I'm saying, like, I don't care who you tell, who you disclose that information to. It's cool. Like, if you tell the whole planet, I'm not going to have an issue with that. You know what I'm saying? I expect humans to be humans, and a lot of humans love gossiping. So I expect nothing less from people. That's why I've learned not to have secrets. You know, there's a lot of people, they feel violated if they share something and then they find out 10 other people know it. But I just don't, you know, if I have a secret that deep, there's not a soul I would share it with. You know, I would just keep it to myself if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of scripture in the Bible that says you shouldn't trust people. That's why I was telling her, if you put your hope in me, you put your faith in me, I'm positioned to let you down now. Now you're going to be disappointed. You think I have something to do with that, but it's because your expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about humans is, even if they're walking with God, like, and the reason I have no expectations, I don't expect Christians to be Christians. I don't expect, you know what I'm saying, like, loving people to be loving all the time, honest people to be honest all the time. I know that at any moment you could snap and turn into the devil himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could happen. You know what I'm saying? You could walk away from God. You could walk away from your religion, your family, it's just, people, you know what I'm saying? There's people that do some unreasonable things, right? And out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just learned to if I'm going to put my hope in something, I'm going to put my faith in something, it has to be God, because he's the only person in this world that won't switch up on his character. The only person. Everybody else, including me, is subject to change. All this positivity shit, I might be cynical as hell tomorrow. It could happen, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I might go through some shit that just transforms me into somebody else. I would hope that it wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I would hope that my character is rooted in something that's unshakable by circumstance. But I can't really tell you with confidence that it is. I could tell you that that's what I'm working towards. But God is the only person whose character is unshakable. You know what I'm saying? He's always going to love you. He's always going to be there for you. You know what I'm saying? So the last thing I want to end on, and I'm really done. I apologize if I'm long-winded, but the last thing I want to end on is put your trust in him. You know what I'm saying? He won't let you down. He doesn't switch up. He doesn't change. You know, every human you meet is subject to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who their own mother betrayed them. Their own father betrayed them. There's people who their own kids turned on the parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this type of stuff happens. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you put your hope in God, you put your faith in God, he's the only person that I really believe can't disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your expectations, it depends on the person. You know what I mean? Because there's people that get disappointed by God too, because they be like, yo, I met a girl who a person died, and then she was like, why is God being mean to me? I'm like, bro, you think God is being mean because people die? Everybody dies. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean he's being mean to you specifically. Like, the problem is that you take circumstance personally instead of taking your relationship with God personally. If you take your relationship with God personally, here's what it looks like. God, I love you even if you take away my mother, even if you take away my life, my finances, my daughter, my son. Like, you know, there's scripture in the Bible that says, unless you love less these things, your wife, your mother, your kids, your own life even, that you're not even fit for his kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to love God more and then love everything else. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that if God took away their children, they'd give up on God. They would want nothing to do with God because their kid died, and they blame him as being the one who could have saved them, but yet he did nothing. You know what I'm saying? In their opinion. And then it's like, you know, because God is not molding himself to your preference, you know, which means you're alive for yourself. And when you have that mindset, you're positioned to have a terrible relationship with not only God himself, but every human being around you. Because then when other people are not being what you want them to be, now you're positioned for disappointment and then cutting them off and being upset, you know, and then you cut them off and you think you're winning in life, but yet you're still being molded by the injustice that somebody else put you through. Now, every time you're buying a pair of sneakers in Foot Locker, it bothers you to see their face there, because even though they did something wrong to you 15 years ago, you'll never let it go. You won't forget it. And you know what I'm saying? And you might think you're not going to forget it, but how many times have you forgotten how to spell the word "the" or your phone number or your email address? You know what I'm saying? So the reason you can't forget things that are wrong in the past is because you keep telling yourself obsessively, I'm never going to forget how somebody did that wrong thing to me. It's because your mind keeps replaying it 5,000 times. And then you feel the effects of it happening 5,000 times. This is the reason this is the reason why you ever offended somebody in a way and they be like, this is what they say to you. Yo, how come you always do that? You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, what the hell are you talking about? The thing that you claim I'm always doing, I only did it to you 2 times, 3 times, maybe 4, no more than that. You know why they feel like it's always happening? Because in their mind, they repeated that offensive event 4,000 times, 5,000 times. So when people ask you, yo, why are you always doing this to me? It's because it shows you that they don't have forgiveness for that action in their heart, because they keep replaying it. And the reason they have no forgiveness for you is because they're obsessed with what they believe shouldn't have happened. You shouldn't have violated me that way. You shouldn't have did this to me. They're obsessed with thinking about how things shouldn't be happening. And these are the most miserable people on earth. The people that are obsessed with what should be happening and what shouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like if I hold the door open for a random pedestrian, you should thank me. If I stop my vehicle to let you merge into traffic, you should wave your hand as a sign of appreciation. If I give you money, you should thank me. If I do this, you should. Everything is everyone, all these people who focus on should and shouldn't, they complain on a daily basis. You complain on a daily basis, you won't have gratitude. If you don't have gratitude, you're going to be unhappy. If you're, it's just a cycle, man. And if you're unhappy, people might not want to be around you. You might have a lot of negative energy, which leads me to my next point, which I'm going to close with, which is what initially was the topic. When you have a lot of negative energy, that might be the reason people are not responding to your text messages. Positive people want to hang out with positive people. You know what I'm saying? Like cynicism wants to hang out with cynicism because it agree amongst itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, evil people, they hang out with other evil people. You know what I'm saying? So you might literally repel other people with whatever energy you carry. You know what I'm saying? It might be positive. Like I've met somebody who they say I'm too damn positive and it annoys her because she's used to like cynical men. So it bothers her that I'm so damn positive. It bothers her that I'm not what she's used to. So she thought I was weird. I thought she was weird for thinking that cynical people are normal. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's crazy how perspective can make you think that something that's weird is normal and something that's normal is weird. You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what you consider normal. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I'm going to end it on that note. Love you guys. If you're interested in listening to the replay, I covered a lot of things in this podcast, or you could go on my wall and look at other ones that I did. And yeah, man, see you on the next one, whenever that is. Take care.